Hello, everyone. My presentation will be on the article Social Media's Attention Alcohol by Derek Thompson, posted in The Atlantic in 2021. A little background about the author, Derek Thompson. He is a writer, author, podcaster. He graduated from Northwestern University in 2008. The Atlantic is an editorial magazine that has been around since 1857, and its articles includes topics in technology, politics, business, arts, sciences, and current events, and their interactions with each other. Derek seems to deal more in the space of technology, science, and current events, as evidenced by his book Hitmakers, which dives into how people's attentions is one of the greatest forms of currency in modern pulp culture. This book shows that he has a real interest in this domain, as his article Social Media's Attention Alcohol also deals with this human technology interaction. So going on to his article, it was written in 2021, not specifically in response to a specific event, but more as a conversation of a phenomenon that has been affecting society in a continuously evolving way. A brief summary of this article. He states that social media can be fun, but also has negative qualities, like it contributes to declining mental health, especially in the younger female demographic. There are many ways of relating social media to different vices like junk food or nicotine, but to Derek Thompson, alcohol seems to be the best comparison. He also believes that there should be more reform in the general population regarding how we all view social media. Um, the onus currently is heavily on the consumer of social media to control their own usage. But the question stands that if somebody is addicted, how can they help themselves? The image with the avatar reaching through the phone is how social media hooks its user base in, with constant buzzing of likes and hearts to create this positive feedback loop that continuously attracts people to use their apps. Sometimes, even when the users don't really want to use the apps. Microsoft published this paper called Digital Addiction, in which they report that self-control problems cause 31% of social media usage. So the companies recognize the problem with social media as evidenced by their research into usage time, but this has not brought about any true reform. Even Facebook users themselves have likened the app to a mildly addictive depressant. So Thompson argues that something needs to change with the way that businesses handle their social media apps, as well as how society in whole interacts with social media. So Derek Thompson argues that social media is an addictive product like alcohol and should be treated as such. If we look at social media in the same way that we look at alcohol, using the same terms like addiction and infrastructure like Alcoholics Anonymous, we may be able to limit some of its more dangerous effects on society. I do agree with this notion that alcohol is the best comparison to social media because when using it, it suppresses the brain, mellowing out the users while somehow continuously drawing them closer in. Just like the author, I've had the same experience with social media. I enjoy using it, but oftentimes I find myself spending too much time on it. And personally, I have been on some retreats that were technologyless, and it has helped me um, have a better view of how I should interact with technology and social media. This article relates to the six approaches of ethical decisions. Social media is always evolving, but the companies are taking an almost polluter pays principle where they will keep releasing products that could possibly affect mental health, but they have deemed that the damages can be repaired with money, and so they're willing to take on these potentially harmful side effects. There is a dilemma of how the companies seem to ignore the potential risks of social media simply because it's exploitable and marketable, just like alcohol. And these companies will continuously chase the bottom line if that means some consumers are affected. This contradicts with the ideals of deontology, because the companies are knowingly not taking significant actions to combat the ill effects of their products. And this contradiction to deontology is twofold. They're first taking into account the consequences of only loosely protecting its users, which whereas deontology is a non-consequentialist idea. And second, the companies have determined that the consequences outweigh their or the potential gain outweigh the consequences. So for the second article, I want to introduce social media. It's serious, understanding the dark side of social media by Christian Baccarella. It was published in the European Management Journal, which is a double-blind, peer-reviewed scholarly research journal, which is published 6 times a year. And so this article states that a lot of research has been done on the bright side of social media, but less attention has been given to its negative effects. And so it proposes this new framework called the Dark Side Honeycomb Framework to research the harm that certain social media apps can inflict. And this article seeks to answer the same questions as Thompson's article regarding social media usage, but it has slightly different approaches. Derek Thompson's article is an opinion-based article, whereas this article is a more research-oriented analysis into the same problem. Together, these two slightly different views can help bring about a solution that can better help people deal with social media addiction and its associated hazards. Thank you.